What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here, and Happy New Year to all of y'all. I hope everyone had a fun and safe New Year's, but yeah, we are now in 2023. Yeah, that's right. Which means it's time for me to recap my favorite musical projects of 2022. You will notice that there are no hip-hop albums on this list, and that's because I do a yearly best of hip-hop list with my guys over at Dead End Hip Hop. So I'll drop the link down there in the description section. Make sure you check that out. But yeah, about this list, I was originally gonna do top 20 or top 25, but I looked at the past years and I've consistently done top 30s. So I guess I'm just gonna stick with that, even though I do think that 30 is kind of a weird number for a list like this, but what the fuck, you know, whatever. Also, I should not have to always say this, but I do. So this is my list. This is not your list. If you do not like my list, literally no one cares. But I would love to see your list since your taste is just impeccable. So make sure you drop your list down there in the comment section and we can all see just what an amazing music listener that you are. And even if you're not a fucking shithead, drop your list down there. Let's all share. I'm sure there's stuff that I missed this year, and maybe I'll show y'all some stuff that you missed. Let's make this a collaborative effort. And yeah, all right, so I'm not gonna go into detail with every single one of these albums because I just don't wanna. You know, I just realized that if I talked about every single one of these albums for a minute, there would be a 30-minute video. Isn't that wild how math works? So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna try to like kind of zoom through this. Yeah, anyways, all right, so we're gonna start with number 30. And that's gonna be the self-titled demo from Prayer Position, which is a really infectious blackened punk band, but it incorporates the black metal aesthetic in a really tasteful way, kind of like Raw Moon did. It's only so low on the list because I heard it so late in the year. But yeah, number 29, I'm going with Spiritworld with Deathwestern. And this is really good Holy Terror hardcore with some just fantastic riffs. Reminds me a little bit of Integrity with some Slayer riffs. And yeah, that shit really gets stuck in my head, and I've been listening to this a lot lately. It should actually be a lot higher on this list, but I really didn't feel like obsessing with the order of this thing anymore, so I left it alone. But make sure you check that out. At number 28, I'm going with I don't know how to pronounce the album title, so it's right there. You can read it yourself. But it's the newest album from Ostats. And yeah, these guys never miss. Really well composed and well played black metal. Nothing to dive too deep into, but yeah, it's really good stuff. Number 27, I'm going with Calm with Resilience and Despair. This is my homie Henry Derrick's new band, and it's fucking awesome. Really great doom metal with some incredibly heavy riffs. But yeah, great playing, really pained vocals. It's the kind of doom that I like, even though I like very little doom. So yeah, at number 26, I'm going with Orville Peck with Bronco. And as I've said this before, it's definitely Roy Orbison mixed with the sort of Danzig end of Elvis with a bit of a Western twang. I feel like Orville Peck is such a treasure. Number 25, I'm going with Cult of Youth with Open Arms. This is their first album in about 8 years, and it might actually be their best album. It's post-punk with a neo-folk vibe to it, but it's all extremely well written and well performed. At number 24, I have Candelabrum with Nocturnal, Trance. I really love Candelabrum's brand of raw black metal. They have this really twisted way of composing black metal with a clear sense of musicality, if that makes sense. It definitely still sounds like it was recorded in a dungeon somewhere though, in the best way possible. At number 23, I'm going with Ian No with River Fools and Mountain Saints. Really good country music from someone who really knows how to write classic sounding country tunes that really get stuck in your head. At number 22, I don't know how to pronounce this band's name either. I think it's Achernar. But yeah, the album's called Labyrinths of Darkness. This was a complete surprise. I actually heard this based on a shirt design that I saw on a website, and I thought the shirt looked cool. So I was like, let me see what this band is. I assumed it was black metal, but it's not. It's really intense and creepy, dark ambient from the same person behind the black metal band. I'm not sure how to pronounce this either. I think it's Aishura, but I'll put that there. That's the name of the band. But yeah, I'm really hoping for a vinyl press of this sometime soon. But yeah, it's really, really, really good. At number 21, we have Ashenspire with Hostile Architecture. And I think it's been really cool to see so many people talking about this album because it's such a unique avant-garde metal album. And seriously, 9 times out of 10, if someone recommends me an avant-garde metal album, I don't like it. But yeah, this one is frantic and it's esoteric musically, but it's extremely well written, and I love the vocal delivery. At times it reminds me of if David Tibet was singing for a metal band, which gives me a Forest of Stars vibe, which is a really, really good thing because I love that band. And the fact that they're left-leaning is an added bonus. At number 20, I have Gehenna with Negative Hardcore. Perfect name for this album, man, but these guys need no introduction to anyone who's been listening to hardcore for a long time, but they've been creating really nasty, ugly, pissed off hardcore since the mid-90s, and this one goes perfectly into their discography. I think this is their first album in like 18 years, and it absolutely rules. At number 19, I have Mind Force with New Lords. This is another big surprise record. I hadn't even heard of these guys until this album, and to me, it's like Cro-Mags without the drama. Really, really creative riffs. So yeah, make sure you check that out. It's super, super good, and I've heard they're awesome live. But anyway, moving on. At number 18, we have Grev with... I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. It's right there. Read it for yourself. But yeah, this was the year of Ancient Records. And the mastermind behind it released a gang of albums, and they're all good. But Grev is symphonic black metal with a lot of tremolo picking and crazy drumming. Definitely, definitely worth checking out. At number 17, I have Willie Nelson with A Beautiful Time. And man, Willie crafts an album that sees him playing to the style that I fell in love with when it came to Willie Nelson. Just great, heartfelt country songs about love, about life, mortality, etc. At number 16, we have Solar Cross with To the Ever Gleaming Pinnacle of Timeless Mastery. So yeah, I don't know much about this project except for that it was recorded a few years back and it just saw the light of day. It was supposed to be released on Lamb's label, Lamb from House of First Light, but it ended up being released on Ixial, and yeah, it's really well done raw black metal. Super, super well done. Anyway, number 15, Amir Suleiman with You Will Be Someone's Ancestor, Act Accordingly. First of all, he fucking wins for the best album title of the year. But this might be a controversial choice. It's a spoken word album done over hip-hop flavored instrumentals, but I didn't want to put it on my hip-hop list for Dead End because I can just see folks arguing that it's not hip-hop because Amir Suleiman doesn't rap. He does poetry. You get what I mean. Not that rap isn't poetry. Don't be a dick. But yeah, it wasn't worth arguing with some fucking dork in a Raiders starter jacket and Tim's about whether or not this album's hip-hop. So it's here, but it is absolutely stellar work. Amir is one of my favorite poets, and his work here is amazing as always. Number 14, I have The Weeknd with Dawn FM. And as I said before, this took me a little while to get into, but now I absolutely love it. It's The Weeknd doing 80s synth pop, and it's just fantastic. Number 13, I have Father Bafal with Crowned in Veneficum. And I still persist that this is the album that these guys were meant to make since they started the band. It's disgusting, punishing death metal played to the T, exactly how I like my death metal. And I think this is the only death metal album on this entire list. I don't know, that doesn't really mean anything. I don't even know why I said that, but I said it, and I'm gonna leave it. It is, and it's fucking great, so go check it out. Number 12, I have Virgin Forest with Shadows. And this is a sexy, sultry, dark, loungy album, and I think it's just perfect, man. It really does feel like a dive bar Nick Cave experience, but it's a beautiful album. Okay, so at number 11, so there were 2 Beketh Nexamu albums released this year, and I really didn't want to take up 2 slots for both of them, so I just put them together. And I can't really pronounce the titles. One is De Ifagas Gravit, and the other one is De Dunklis Sorgiat. Yeah, I'm sure that's wrong, so don't even bother putting in the comments that it's wrong. I know it's wrong, guys. At any rate, I put them both together, even though I do like De Dunklis a bit better. But if this is truly the last we'll hear from this project, they went out with an absolute bang. My favorite project of is still As Elissath, but Beketh Nexamu is a very close second, but these 2 albums make it really hard to keep that order. All right, we're now in the top 10, folks. Yeah, number 10, I have Hercules and Love Affair with In Amber. I mentioned this album in the mid-year, and yeah, I have been wearing this album out since I heard it. It's really cool experimental electronic music with some kind of post-punky vibes to it, and Anhony singing over it, and it really is a beautiful album. I'm so happy that I discovered this project, as I had not heard of them prior to this album, but yeah, it's great. Number 9, Revenant Marquis with Milk Teeth. And I've definitely been listening to this album a ton. If you're into raw black metal, I'm sure you're very familiar with this band, but no one does twisted, nasty, raw black metal like this guy. It's seriously so good. At number 8, I have Autumn Brigade with The Gates of Heaven. As I mentioned before, I found these guys on a leftist neo-folk comp, and I've just fallen in love with them. It reminds me of some of the absolute greats in neo-folk, but you can listen to them without feeling guilty that you're listening to some assumed fascist shithead. Either way, this is some great neo-folk. Yeah, anyways, moving on to number 7, we have Bjork with Fosora. To me, this woman does not miss, like ever, you know? Like, she is an absolute master at creating some of the most beautiful experimental music I've ever heard. And this one is dark, and it's emotionally dense, and it's very, like, I don't know what the word is, whatever that is. It's a whole bunch of that. But yeah, it's fucking great. Number 6, Sainte Marie de Loups with Obeisance. It's right there, guys. It's right there. But as I mentioned before, the guy behind this project is one of my favorite black metal musicians, and I was happy to get even 2 songs from him. But yeah, it's fast, pissed off, and dark, evil sounding black metal. Really, really well done. Number 5, I have Placebo with Never Let Me Go. Yeah, Placebo returns with an album that's actually quite a bit better than their last few. Great alt rock with a lot of electronic elements that really complement the music extremely well, and it's some of Brian's most impassioned singing in many years, but A+. Number 4, I have Black Cilice with Esoteric Atavism. If Black Cilice releases an album, it's sure to be on my best of the year list because I love this band. Nasty, raw, cavernous black metal. Like I said before, it's a bit cleaner than some of their past albums. Like, you can hear more of the riffing here, as opposed to it just being this big, huge wall of noise. But yeah, it's awesome, and it still has that Black Cilice flavor to it. Moving right along, number 3. Okay, so like Beketh Nexamu, another one of projects, released 2 albums this year. That's Trolldom, and the 2 albums that he released is Av Golder's At and I Natten Sken. So yeah, I just put them on the same slot. But yeah, both of these are just stellar. They're dark, mystical sounding black metal albums, and I truly don't understand how someone is able to create this many great albums in such a short period of time. Like, this dude is an absolute black metal mastermind. But yeah, trolled him. Good stuff. And number 2, we have Arizmenda with Spider's Lust and the Dungeon's Dust. Surprise album of the year. I don't think anyone that's a fan knew that this album was coming until it popped up saying it was coming out in like 3 days or something crazy. But yeah, this may be their best work. It's psychedelic black metal that's aggressive and emotional with a lot of really nice melodies. It's got that perfect touch of raw without being too gross sounding. But yeah, I find myself returning to this a lot and thinking about this album a lot. And yeah, it's an amazing, amazing album. And we are now arriving at the #1 spot for the year, and I'm sure none of y'all are surprised if you know me and you know how much I am obsessed with this project. But yes, #1 is Current 93, If a City is Set Upon a Hill. And yeah, I absolutely adore this project, and this album absolutely nails it. Droney soundscapes, acoustic guitars, beautiful piano, and Tibet's just incredible performance here. Like, it really, I think I said this before, it sounds like he's fucking pushing through the speakers as you're listening to it and demanding your attention. It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of neo-folk that delivers some really powerful moments that I feel like you could just close your eyes and just kind of melt into them, you know? All right, all of that hippy dippy, new agey, third eye bullshit out of the way. This is a fucking stellar album. Go listen to it. And yes, my list is done. Whew! But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoy sharing my musical journeys with you guys, and hopefully y'all want to do the same thing with me. And God, I am a fucking cornball. New Year's resolution: stop being a fucking cornball. I'm already breaking it. But anyways, yeah, that's it. As usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace out, boy.